Hi, this is a very simple program. I'm going to walk you through it, and in a few minutes you'll be able to produce your own herd milk prediction for a 12-month period. Before you start your own prediction, you'll need to work out the predicted calving pattern of cows and heifers, and when the cows and heifers you have in the herd at the start of the prediction last calved. Enter using your mouse or move sequentially through the cells using the tab key. Here I'm entering farm data, name, postcode, herd name, your herd ID, which is provided by your milk purchaser, and the name of your milk purchaser. Once you've done this, enter the date you want the prediction to start, and the yield and the calving interval. Please note the yield you enter is the lactation yield. That's the average amount of milk an animal will give from the day it calves until the day it drives off. The average calving interval for the herd can be any duration from 365 days to 450 days. Increasing the calving interval spreads the lactation over a longer period. NMR estimate the average calving interval is 424 days. Once this information is entered, you select the square button with the words Set Up Forecast, and this will set up the table into which you'll enter calving information. 305-day yield is calculated, and this is broadly equivalent to the annual milk sales of an animal. You can get this information from milk records, and if you don't know the yield of your cows, this program won't really help you to predict future output. The management system allows you to fine-tune the prediction based on how your cows are managed. Low yield reflects the herds that have a seasonal bias to typically spring calving cows. High yield reflects cows where the lactation is constant, more typically seen with high yielding cows. The average yield reflects a typical UK herd, if there is such a thing. The culling rate works by assuming about half of total culling is from cows in lactation, and there are 3 tiers of culling possibilities as described on the screen. You can make these adjustments at any time, and you can alter any of the previous parameters such as yield or calving interval. However, just be aware that if you reset the date, it will reset all parameters to nil or the system default. The next thing to do is enter the historic calvings. Add up for each month the number of cows and heifer calvings. Please don't include cows that calved last year but have since been sold. They won't contribute to the prediction. The total number of historic calvings should be broadly the same as the number of cows and heifers in the herd at the prediction start date. Next, enter the expected calvings over the next 12 months by adding the cows and heifers you expect to calve in each month. You should estimate the amount of milk that will be discarded or used for house and calves. If you don't do this, you'll probably end up overestimating the amount of milk you'll send to your purchaser. And the final column allows you to enter the amount of milk you produced last year. It's optional, but it'll help you to sense check the predicted volumes against the farm's production in last year. When you've finished, click on the yellow square Run Forecast, and it will run the calculation, and you'll see the results in the second table if you scroll down. This is the output table. For each month it shows the estimated production, the predicted number of cows in milk, the estimated litres per day, and the sales of the volumes produced less the amount discarded and used on farm. There's a column for cumulative volumes, and the final column indicates the percentage variation in predicted volumes compared to the amount produced in the previous year. That's it. If you get this far, you've completed a prediction. You can try out various options by changing yield, calving interval, system, culling rate and calvings. Just remember to click Forecast after you've changed parameters to update the prediction. When you're happy with everything, you can click on Submit Print. This opens the prediction in another printer-friendly format. And you can click on Print to format this, and you can also cut and paste the data into a spreadsheet if you want to use it for further calculations. To go back to the prediction, You just select the tab in your browser to go back to it. The data you've entered is saved on your computer so that next time you open the program, it will populate the cells with the last data you entered. We hope you find this program easy to use, but please feel free to let us have any feedback or ask any questions if you need help with anything.